All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, Olga. And welcome back to Of the Devil. Last time, oh boy, we had some kind of earth-shattering revelations over the course of our investigation. All right, that last page. I don't like that. I don't like that it doesn't automatically go to the most recent page in terms of in terms of what we saved. How many pages do we have? Is it just 3? Oh shit. Well, all right then. And basically, Dr. Ashur had made not just one AI, but many, and they had all helped him make Serra. So Serra is far, far more advanced than your average everyday android. She is basically like an artificial human, a life form, than any kind of machine kind of pretending to be one. And this is a secret that only Morgan knows, thanks to the layers upon layers upon layers of ways that he hid this information. Including Officer Reyes, who just scanned the journal, while Morgan found a secret recording hidden with a button press. Which I assumed that, oh my god. And this earth-shattering revelation, I don't know how, this is probably not going to be made public because it would cause an absolute mass panic. And we'll see what this actually means for Sarah's case. Oh boy. So, how'd it go? Well, how should I put this? Didn't find shit! The only reason she ever got to a door is because I chased that scarecrow of a platinum plan through hell and back. Frankly, it was a godlike feat for me to nail down anything as concrete as an address for these ghosts. For these gogs. Oh. Gogs. A nut slang term growing in popularity among adolescents, referring to a suspected spy or undercover member of law enforcement. Derived from groundhog, a burrowing rodent known for standing erect on his hind legs and scanning his surroundings for predators. Term carries a negative connotation, with the implication being that the subject is doing a poor job of blending in or disguising their surveillance activity. Yeah, we know the color is the restraint. Yeah. Yeah, this is like, yeah, we know what the nationalized mean. Many governments made liberal use of nationalization during the late 2050s through 2060s in an effort to keep energy and food prices from fluctuating out of control. 2070 saw most of this country's reverse course. Industries were opened back up in a free auction model where every citizen was given a share to trade or sell as they pleased. This contentious process was plagued by accusations of government corruption, cartel intimidation, and disinformation campaigns. The global trend back towards privatization gave rise to a new rich, sometimes derisively referred to as the neo-ability. Some liberal economists have since criticized this period of deregulation as being poorly planned and executed in haste, contributing to the record highs of wealth inequality we see today, leaving many governments loath to attempt nationalization again, and thus shifting the global balance of power further towards multinational corporations. Today, all 5 of the largest national economies in the world retain at least some control of what they each consider their respective countries' key industries, making the threat of nationalization carry marginally more weight within their borders. And their offices were enlisted on the building's website or directory, so I had to ask the janitor. But you did find a psychiatrist's office.
Sort of. They said they were, and the police said, looked the part.
Why? Because they had couches? She didn't get past the receptionist. Sorry, I thought because you're with the company.
No, I wanted to help. I just wish I could have done more.
Don't beat yourself up. It's hard to be even half as useful as I am.
For what it's worth, the atmosphere, the looks, the furniture, it did feel like the company in there.
But ultimately, we still don't know if David actually was talking to someone, or just getting his CCE training recertified.
Sorry.
Don't bother apologizing. She only cares about results. You did more than enough, both of you. At the very least, they divided Noble's attention for a while. I mean it. Good work, friend. And thanks for the urgency. If you really mean that, you could always throw in a tip. 30%'s the going rate in my industry. How about I take 5% off your tab instead? Tab? I'm a minor. State pays for my legal fees. Don't they? Oh no, signal must have cut out.
Right. Surprised it took them this long.
What do you mean? Yo, Nagatuna, welcome to the stream.
You were tolerated yesterday because leadership was focused on PR. But today, you're the lawyer who put the company's hottest product right in state's crosshairs.
I'll be alright. I'm still an officer of the court.
On a strict timeline, though. Right? I guess they can't stop you from investigating the corporate campus. But they'll gladly lose your guest pass ID at every door along the way.
There are still service passageways and stairwells. Guards that can be fooled and peons that can be manipulated. If I use my other skill set to get around...
So take mine!
What? Your pass?
Don't tell me got ours mixed up in the bathroom or whatever. I can wear pretty convincing klutz when he need to be.
I never would have guessed. But if David knew that I was endangering your career...
I can also be a pretty convincing crybaby when I'm in trouble too. Besides, the one and only Dr. David Ashur wrote me a new glowing letter of recommendation every quarter I worked for him. Since he kept forgetting that he already had. And who knows? Maybe I should try a new field. This detective work stuff is pretty fun, so maybe. Like, I don't know, secretary for a homicide detective or something. You did say cops are all lazy. A girl with managerial skills could go far.
Honestly, Jess, I doubt they could afford you.
Ah.
Morgan, how did you... Got so turned around? God only knows. Lucky I found my way here, though. It's such a relief to see a familiar face. Right. Listen, Morgan, I'm not sure that I should actually be talking to you without legal present. Oh.
I mean, leadership hasn't even told us how David died. How much help could I be?
I see.
It's not that I don't trust you or anything, it's just... I think, what with the Serra issue...
You should do whatever you have to protect yourself, dolls.
Yeah.
Though, for what it's worth, I doubt you'll be in any trouble.
Oh, that's good to hear.
No, if anything, it's the big names who are going down.
Going down?
State was practically licking its lips when I finally left the courthouse last night. They're hungry for blood. And looking to carve out a huge slice of Noble's flesh.
What, like fines and jail time?
In the first 2 weeks, sure. Then, sanctions.
They can't sanction Noble. We're...
Too big to fail. Too valuable to lose. You're exactly right. That's what they'll say. And that's how they'll justify nationalizing the company.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I just hope your board goes quietly instead of
what?
scapegoating. Offering up smaller names on silver platters. Full cooperation and government oversight on the surface. A slaughter beneath as they clean house and rip out anyone who could testify. No one will believe you once you're labeled a disgruntled former employee. Right? And if the public's lost faith in the Animate 16, they can't do a recall. Not at this scale. The state will make them do a flat refund.
Flat refund? The losses would be...
Yes, your board probably just wants Serra to go away so they can focus on their fight with the state. A tough fight, but one they know they won't personally have to risk anything in. That's why I'm hoping I can win this trial. Well, if I won, that would mean Serra's not an AI. David Ashur was always of sound mind, and there's nothing wrong with the Animate 16. Everyone wins! Sorry, what am I saying? I only meant to stop by and thank you for your help yesterday. Oh, man. Wow. Holy schnapps. Jeez. Hello, Mirage. Welcome to the stream. After all, you were the one who approved Serra's registration.
You win.
Win what?
Ask away.
Well, if you insist. Oh, okay, I see. So I can't do that until I got these. Makes sense. I got an order to there's an order to these things. Humor me for a moment. What's the company's official statement on AI?
Same as any rational company that wants to make money. We don't screw with it. Smart products are profitable. Products with their own priorities are anything but. That being said, AI is a concern for marketing, not product development. We spend a lot of money reassuring our public that there's no risk, because the public doesn't really understand how ironclad the tenets are.
Because you use Tesseract.
Trying to code an AI in TESS is like trying to pick yourself up and throw yourself. Nonsensical and self-defeating.
Your scanner showed Serra was running on Tesseract yesterday. If the language is as safe as you say, isn't that proof enough?
Proof of nothing. For an AI lied to another system about the code you're running in this child's play. And for an AI built by Dr. David Ashur, something that simple would be,
Better change the subject. Wait, so making an AI takes more than time and resources. It isn't an issue of funding.
No, you can't just keep adding more data. The tenets underlie everything. The higher you stack, the more easily you'll topple.
You make it sound like building an AI is impossible, even for David Ashur. Any chance you'll testify to that?
It sounds impossible. But he's dead, and it looks like it was his android that did it. So I guess he was just that good.
Better than you'll ever know. Oh, hey, okay, I can do it now, but I should do blue first. Okay. I know you're convinced the tenants are safe. So how do you square that with what happened to David?
There's a cat next to a dog. First answer that comes to mind is the dog to the left or to the right.
I'd say the dog is on the right, the cat is on the left.
You might expect half of people to say left, half to say right. But actually their answer is almost entirely dependent on their native tongue. Whether it's read right to left or left to right. The language they speak affects how they process information. Their language affects how they think. And it's the same for machines. People can learn new languages and it can change our perspective. But machines can't learn a new source code. Every update's a reincarnation. If that android did kill David, it wasn't because a 0 returned as a 1 somewhere. It's because there's something fundamentally wrong with it. And personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world.
Yes. Unnecessarily cruel. Noble spent months promoting the A16 as the culmination of David Ashur's work. So now that marketing line is suddenly a huge liability. Can you tell me how much he actually contributed?
I mean, he was involved in pretty much every step of the process, but his design for synthetic motor neurons was the big one.
The components that allow your warm androids to move realistically.
It pushed the timetable for warm androids ahead by years.
And yet compared to what goes on in Serra's brain 1,000 times a second, David was only giving the company the most meager of the fruits that his private work bore. So if Noble ever did find out how much he and his assistants had achieved, they would feel that he had been holding out on them. And the company, they were appreciative of his contributions?
I'm sure the researchers he overtook by leaps and bounds weren't pleased, but the board was very enthusiastic.
So would that spur them to be protective of David? Or would they fear he was gaining too much influence, becoming irreplaceable? No, they need a strong motive to justify killing their golden goose. Mere paranoia isn't enough. With these people, it has to be the bottom line. And the easiest way to threaten their bottom line would be screwing with their androids. In light of all that's happened, one has to wonder if the A16 is
Compromised? I stayed up all night sick with dread at the idea. But the data just doesn't support it. Sales have been strong. And the A16 base code was locked in over 2 quarters ago. If there were an issue, we would have caught it by now. And I would have been axed a long time ago.
How many A16s are out there anyway?
We just passed 9 million sold. Not flying off the shelves like the 14 or 15 so far, but profit margin makes up for it.
You mentioned data.
Yeah, practically got spreadsheets seared into my retinas. What do you want to know?
What do the error reports look like? Our customers reporting a lot of issues.
Error counts are markedly low compared to the last gen. Mostly hardware complaints, looks like. Batteries running out too quick, eye tracking off by a degree or 2.
Typical stuff?
As cliched as it sounds, 99% of these things get fixed once they turn auto updates back on.
So no killer robots getting filed away under bug reports. How and where are they being sold? What's the distribution pattern look like?
They're distributed like you'd expect. Places where there are more people, there are more androids. Coastal cities like ours, of course, have the most of both. And since the A16 in particular is marketed as being relatively luxury, relatively consumer, they don't sell well outside population centers. They can do the rural hard labor jobs, but gold models can do the same work with a lot less maintenance.
So where has the A16 outperformed then?
Customer service, healthcare, childcare, lots of hospitals, offices, and, adult industries.
Oh.
Sorry, didn't mean to be blunt,
No, it makes sense. They're warm and soft to the touch and obedient. I'm just surprised to hear from a company employee.
There's a lot of people at the company who won't talk about it. I work in quality assurance. I've seen too many damages to pretend it's not happening.
Damages?
We call it when a customer tries to return a product that's clearly broken beyond repair.
Oh.
Very high turnover in the pink market.
Hasn't stopped you from selling to them?
Well, we don't sell to them, not directly. But there are resellers, and the company's never pretended to be interested in going after them.
Are there resellers? I thought I read that right to repair got shot down again. Hey, oh, that's cool.
There's been a gray market for softer androids for years, or decades, depending on your definition of android. Based on the sales numbers I've seen, RTR getting canned was barely a blip on their radar. Sorry, didn't mean to make you uncomfortable with this topic.
Huh? Me? No, I don't get... I just realized my left sock's on inside out.
Damn, now I'm wondering about that myself.
He bought that? Shh. This floor is basically a showroom. But you have a real factory a while south of the city limits, correct?
Yeah, biggest company manufacturing complex in the hemisphere.
Got any data on the shipping out of there? Anything stand out?
There's some prep work for the holiday bump, looks like. Might sound early to get started now, but we usually see, Huh?
Something wrong?
No, numbers are all normal, but the data has been edited.
Is that unusual?
Well, this section's account of how many were sent where. There is not a lot of room for errors, so there shouldn't be much need for corrections. It's no problem, though. I can view the edit history and see what was fixed. Okay, that's weird.
Was something added? Deleted?
No, the overall sum's the same. It's just a bunch of swaps. Like here, 29 FFCE 010311 taken out. Return for adjustments. 27 FCDD 019634 substituted in. Shipment leaves on time. 67 BBTC 899543 returned to assembly for revisions. Replaced by 67 BBTD 592698. Shipment leaves on time.
So does all that strike you as odd, Mr. Dawes?
Replacements before shipping isn't uncommon, but where it happens by the batch load. To spot individual unit imperfections among a shipment at that stage in the process? It must have been someone with a lot of experience or authority. Probably both.
Must have. You don't know who made these changes?
I can't tell you there was somebody important.
Small last-minute changes to which androids got shipped out. Not very juicy on its own. And it's a long ways away from explaining why someone would want to kill David. But it was hidden. And that means someone didn't want it found. Okay. Thanks for sharing that data.
Sure. Did you find what you were looking for?
Hell if I know.
Fair enough. Any other questions before I find a hole to go hide in? I'm head in.
I'd like you to take a look at this.
Chemistry is a little outside my purview. What is this?
A compound found in David Ash's blood.
The poison? What is it?
It didn't match anything that any database the medical examiner had access to.
That's crazy.
It's a crazy idea to follow it up. Run it through your private database. Yeah. See if it's a match for anything in Noble's internal databanks.
We, don't make poison here. I'm not sure what that would accomplish.
No, but this is a factory floor. You could be making baby blankets out there, you'd still have hazardous materials around.
You think it was something industrial? Suppose it could be. Looks like it's carbon-based. Narrows it down a lot. Not exactly.
What is it?
It doesn't make any sense, but it's a match for patent NOD FIT 52345S. A synthetically produced neurotransmitter analog for usage in organic android components.
Oh, didn't they say that oh my god. Didn't they say that was like something that, ooh. Serotonin. That explains a lot. A neurotransmitter would interact directly with the nervous system. In David's case, depressing it enough to put his life in danger. It also explains why it was present in a preset in his personal manufacturer. Sarah's nervous system, worth 10 times its weight in platinum, Must be pumped full of it.
So they think that was what killed him?
Helen Young led the development of serotonin, didn't she? Yep, it all leads back to her.
Yes, she did.
I should go and ask her about its composition then.
Normally, someone at her level wouldn't be able to answer specific questions about a compound formulated years ago. But she does have a reputation for being very detail-oriented.
That works out nicely then.
They say she's the type of person to micromanage how much water people drink at a 15-minute stand-up.
Could she have put it... What kind of shelf life does it have? Could she have put it in there ages ago, the last time she came over, and saved it? But then how would she know which cup she got? Which cup it was in? And for David to give her the right cup. It seems like a simple enough compound, like for it to be able to be desiccated and and saved in the cup, depending on where the cup was stored. So, and those were their personal cups that they always used. It was their tradition. So, it's very possible that the last time they met, she could have put it in that cup, and that wouldn't be on any cameras.
They say she's the type of person to micromanage how much water people drink at a 15-minute stand-up. I heard a rumor she once said bathroom breaks are timesheet theft.
Aren't they?
I'm
kidding. But you should be careful about criticizing a superior where people could be listening. Good thing we've got privacy in your office.
Uh-huh. No one but the two of us are listening in.
Thanks for cooperating, Dawes. When the state storms through the building and starts zip-tying people, I'll let them know that you were helpful.
Yeah, nice joke. You are joking, right?
Hey! Oh, we got one more thing. Actually, there is one more thing I want to ask you.
What's that?
How long have you been a corporate spy?
What?
Oh, that's right, the consulting thing. Yesterday you let it slip that you worked in consulting. Had your guard down because I'm not part of the industry.
I was a consultant. What are you talking about?
When I walked in here, you said you didn't know how David died. But just now you called serotonin a poison.
What? I just assumed if a chemical was found in a dead man.
And I'm sure you got practiced answers to every logical point I could raise, so I'll just say this. Does the nervous guy bit really work on people?
Keep your cool and people don't know what you're thinking. But if you act a little jumpy, they feel inclined to calm you down. Before they know it, they're just spilling their guts to have something to fill the silence with. Though it's not entirely an act these days. To answer your question, I did 3 tours in consulting. 4 quarters of internal affairs, spy hunting at the Western Division, then 8 embedded at Howe Industries. 24 months wearing different faces, answering different names, sleeping for 1 hour at a time with a 3D printed ship under my pillow. My nerves are completely shot. My cover wouldn't last a day if I went back under.
Serious Spy 4 Noble.
Retired.
You're working six days a week.
5.5 days a week. And in quality assurance. Trust me, this position is a cushy, generous reward for my past services.
Well, you can't be that retired. You clearly know more than you're letting on.
I have some old inboxes I still check.
So can you tell me what the hell is happening around here? Why, I'm the one investigating David's death while your old co-workers are off twiddling their thumbs.
It's that story. The soldier, the blood transfusion.
Blood, not oxidant. He's finally shooting straight. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Did something happen to him afterwards? Did the transfusion not last?
No, there's nothing wrong with the blood. It's the story itself. There was a soldier and he did get injured. But it was on a base during a training exercise. The medical tent 10 meters away the whole time. The transfusion was just a fortuitous life test. His life was never in any danger.
Doesn't make for much of a tearjerker.
Not even a good photo op. Which our competitors understood. One of them, maybe a few of them, got a hold of the story, started buffing it up, astroturfing, painting over socials and virals. But the next morning we had the military thing and we're leaking like a sieve. Meanwhile, the media is bombarding us with requests for videos and interviews and data. And the state's praising our tech with one side of their mouth while threatening to mist us with the other for getting so greedy. Everyone in Noble CCE has been slammed ever since. Trying to find an off-ramp for the story we can walk. Story we can walk back the claims on without torpedoing our state contracts. I don't know what happened to Ashur, whether it was an AI gone rogue or company infighting gone too far.
Hey, cool, we got a... Oh, wow, this must be like a secret conversation. Oh, that's really cool.
But I can tell you it wasn't done by consultants. How long you want to know?
You worked in CCE. Was David actually seeing a psychiatrist? Or was it all cloak and dagger bullshit?
I know that office. Know some old co-workers who see him.
So it's a front.
They do both.
Hello, twat. Welcome to the stream. That's so cool that this is all fucking optional. We got fucking optional side quests in a fucking Ace Attorney game. Wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. Oh my god. What a way to get what a way to introduce the concept of a side quest in a game like this. Oh, that's really cool.
So he was probably getting training, and he was probably talking to someone. Sorry. Not the answer you're hoping for?
Hoping? I wasn't hoping for any answer. The answer I expected was...
You okay?
That's all. Unless you've got any advice.
You're saying you want a consultation.
Couldn't hurt, right?
This company, all these companies hate to lose. So don't fight them. Make them think you're fighting for them.
Well, that's just business as usual for me. Up until now, there's been this grating ambiguity about what actually killed David. We've had to use guesses and process of elimination and even a goddamn pseudonym. But I've finally identified what the poison was. Now I just need to figure out how it got there. It feels like it was desiccated, left there from last time. Depending on the compound and depending on the storage conditions, it could have very well remained stable. I didn't work in neurotransmitters when I was in science, so I don't know the stability of such compounds. But generally in science, there's a couple of ways you can store things, and desiccation is one of the more reliable ones. Just that it's a pain in the ass to get it into solution again, usually, in the correct amount. And also, it doesn't work with more complicated compounds. There's the -80, we have the -80, the -20, and the 4 degrees, which is like a standard fridge you use in your house. And there's also the deep freeze, liquid nitrogen for long-term storage. And it completely depends on what kind of compound it is. So I want to see when they talk about the stability of this compound. I wonder if she can get Young to spill, or talk to any scientist really, on the stability of neurotransmitter out of solution. Now I just need to figure out how it got there. Or rather, who put it there. Which brings me back to here. An elevator shaft somewhere under or above ground, with kilometers of concrete facelessness and bureaucratic authority surrounding me on all sides. An enemy in every cubicle, in every office of every floor of this temple. Built to interpret the inscrutable divinations of a temperamental oracle named Shareprice. Back in the belly of the beast. And yet I feel more at ease now than I have all weekend. Makes sense. Now that I know Noble's my enemy, I know where to aim. All that's left to do is pull the trigger. Good thing I didn't bring a knife to this fight. I brought my gun. And that sound just now tells me it's playing its role perfectly. I'll never have a real use for a firearm with this much bloatware. But just by carrying it around and paying attention to when the hard safety flips on, I'll always get a heads up when the police have entered the vicinity. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's a really smart way to use it. Hi, Detective Reyes, it's Morgan. Chuckles, she calls her. Have a look at your contact info when you got me cleared for the crime scenes yesterday. Delete contact. Block this contact. Stop voice to text. How to stop voice to text. Just wanted to check in. Report the contact voice to text disabled. And advise you that Noble's scared shitless of you stomping in and nationalizing the place. So they might be a little uncooperative when it comes to fetching documents. Block this contact. What makes you think we're at Noble? My bad then. Forget I said anything. And whatever you do, don't start your investigation with their stock buyback program.
Trying to reverse psychology, it only works if you care what I think. If I care what you think. Stop voice to text!
About time. Thought I'd have to ride the elevator for the next half hour.
Morgan, counselor. Your presence has been requested on the upper floors.
Deja vu.
Might you have a moment to speak in private?
Always. But who's asking?
The board.
What are the chances? I've been wanting to speak to them too. Noble Electronics, Northeastern HQ. Conference room 108A. Evangeline Morgan.
I haven't worked out that yet, Nagitona.
Helen Young. Thank you for making time in your schedule. Her posture, her tone, the fold of her clothes, professional dialed up to 11. Corporate armor, full set. Her guard is up. Just Morgan is fine. You're just a few minutes early, Morgan. Typical corporate, never be the first one to show up. Pissing contest nonsense. It doesn't even make sense. They called me in here. How could I possibly be early? Oh, that's embarrassing. I didn't mean to catch you all off guard. I'll go wait outside in that case so you can all collect yourselves. I'm just surprised that Noble Electronics could screw up something as simple as a meeting start time. But I'm not well versed in the art of staring at emails. You've made your point, Counselor. Don't push your luck. Not with these people. Might I dare to ask who these people are? You don't have time to remember the names, and it won't do you much good either. Right. So they're not just rich, they're anonymous rich. The MOB Act guarantees a minimum level of security and peace of mind for any citizen who might be targeted due to their financial status. Here we go. The Protection of Reasonable Anonymity Act is a law passed in 2059 and amended in 2061, intended to protect the safety of individuals with income above the 99th percentile of the nation. Oh my god, privacy for me but not for thee. Wow. Jeez Louise. Labeled in the press as the MOB Act for a supposed goal of hindering mob justice. The PRAA establishes procedures and funding for technology that helps individuals within that particular tax bracket keep their name, face, and address off the main net, ensuring that they and their families are not prejudiced against just because of their financial status. How kind of them. Economic uncertainty and civil unrest in the late 2050s led to a series of highly publicized crimes wherein corporate executives and a number of high-profile companies were stalked, harassed, and assaulted in net organized flash lynchings. After a particularly chaotic attack that resulted in the hospitalization of a 14-year-old, the PRA was proposed, debated, and signed into law in just under 11 hours. A flash lynching case has not gone to trial since 2062, but the PRA continues to protect citizens to this day. Some economists have pointed to the PRA as promise of anonymity as to why the nation has enjoyed a relative resurgence in corporate immigration over the last few decades. But the purposefully obscured nature of the law's implementation have made the task of weighing its true economic impact effectively impossible. Damn. Wow. I think that is the most dystopian thing so far. Wow. The Moreback guarantees a minimum level of security and peace of mind for any citizen who might be targeted due to their financial status. Spoken like a true believer. Except Moreback is what normal people call it. Wow, that's crazy, Nagitona. Touting the party line, but allowing yourself one instance of rebellion. Or just a slip of the tongue. I would never fault anyone for wanting their privacy, especially not job creators. My God, that term. That is the term to use to suck up. But it must get pretty inconvenient not having a name to call them. Not really. Conversations with them are always one-sided. Sounds like a great environment to do business in. So, this is gonna be like Sele from Evangelion. That's what it's gonna be. I see like they have the monoliths here. Oh, that's so cool. Look at the building you're standing in. We managed to eke out a meager profit somehow. So if it works... Didn't take you for the might makes right type. And I didn't take you for a clueless bore incapable of reading the room. Sorry, did I say something off color? I was only being casual since it's just the two of us in here. Maybe we should take advantage of this rare bit of privacy. Clear the air. Oh, which word? Which word are you talking about? Oh, Zella. Okay, thank you. I did not realize that. You're here to ask about Serra, yes? As I said before, I had no idea that Dr. Ashur had been building an android on his private property. I can say here and now that no one at Noble Electronics ever suspected that he was working to undermine the Tenet framework. She's trying to sound candid in her tone, but she's choosing her words with a certain scalpel. Was she coached? Is that the truth? Or is that your statement as VP of Android Futures? It's both, of course. Dr. Ashur was always more than happy to hold himself up and work independently. We both know that. True, he could be pretty reclusive. I'm sure it caused all kinds of headaches, him disappearing on you all like that. Must have been especially difficult when he came back with breakthroughs that propelled Noble to the top of the industry. You should take a seat. If that's everyone, shall we begin? Friendly bunch. Yep! Yep! I fucking knew it. Yep. Is there a problem with the sound? Anyone got muted by accident? No. Okay. Thanks for having me. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm actually a bit flustered, having you all show up here. I didn't expect to talk to anyone higher up than a service associate. You're investigating the death of Dr. David Ashur. Why wouldn't we take that seriously? Because you want me to go away. At least, half of you do. The others aren't sure yet. You must be confused. The board is, as always, united in its decisions and its visions for the direction of the company. A board of directors is just 13 roulette-rolling psychopaths who get tough to get together and vote on whether or not to execute their CEO every 6 months. None of them would be where they are if they were anything else. But I happen to know how that kind of person thinks. The way I see it, there are 2 possible outcomes. Option 1, you oppose me. Shut me out completely, stonewall me, stall me, and wait for me to walk into trial zone prepared and ill-informed that I inevitably lose. Obviously, I don't like this option. But you can't be big fans of it either. If I lose, the world will learn that David Ashur was killed by an android he programmed. Then every customer you've ever had, and every lawyer they've ever seen on TV, and every firebrand, strapping young 60-year-old junior senator looking to make a name for themselves will use your company balance sheet as their personal chew toy. The company is more than capable of. After which the state still might just gobble you whole. And throw down enough sanctions to deperson whomever among you cries no fair. The company and its allies at the capital can more than fend for themselves. Yes, probably, but not definitely. Which makes it a gamble. Still my turn to talk. Then on to option 2. You cooperate with me. I use what you give me, or forge for me, to win a trial, proving that David wasn't killed by an android. When the markets open tomorrow morning, you will get another round of stock buybacks in on the initial dip. Then pat yourselves on the back for staying calm as you continue to profit off of David's legacy for the next 100 years. And you won't even have to worry about him speaking out of turn. That's only if you win. If the company cooperates with you, denies that David was killed by... and then the state beats you anyway, it would be catastrophic. Yes. It's a gamble. But if at least some of your board wasn't considering taking it, I wouldn't be here. We're all busy people, and I'd hate to drive a wedge between such a close-knit group of friends, so how about this? Option 3. Hedge your bets. What? Put on a little on black, put a little on red. Spread the love and lower your risk profile. Don't make any statements about the trial. Tell the media the state's got your windpipe in a vice. Wait until just before the markets open on Monday morning to send out your PR packages for rubber stamping. After you already know who's won. One way or another, this trial will be over before the end of the day, and you'll never hear from me again. So just don't shut me out completely for another few hours. And does anyone second that motion? Very well. We can answer some of your questions, Counselor. Better make them count then. No reason to be shy now. The poison that killed David Ashur has been identified as serotonin. You're familiar? It's one of our many patented materials, as I recall. You recalled it pretty easily yesterday. Gee, what's changed? But intellectual property law can be very complex, Counselor. I'm not sure how much I or anyone at the company can tell you about serotonin at this time. Well, if you can't tell me about it, who could? You did lead its development, didn't you? Yes, I oversaw the project, which just makes it that much harder to speak freely without compromising the confidentiality of the teams that reported to me. I understand. That sounds like bullshit, and I don't believe it. But I'm not asking for trade secrets here. It's a perfect match for the only foreign substance found in his blood. Serotonin is what killed him. The state will say the same. That's not possible. Care to elaborate? I'm sorry, but I can't say any more at this time. So much for cooperating. And if I were to ask you as an officer of the court?
Ah, yep, she's going on the witness stand.
Then I would ask you to be patient and wait until this afternoon. A.J. Rockford has already called me to testify. Already? Damn it. I got cocky because of the cop's late arrival. Emma must have gone straight for the throat first thing this morning and left the investigating for later. Hell, knowing her, she probably managed to ID the serotonin before she went to bed last night. So are we still having this conversation then? As I said, I'm sorry. But I have to take more than just my personal feelings into consideration here. There's a great deal at stake. Crawford speak for, you're too stupid to understand why I'm being dense. She's just trying to steal the company, plain and simple. LARPing as Helen Young d'Arc on a crusade against government overreach. But if she's that busy defending Noble, she might be leaving herself unguarded. Why is she here anyway? Why am I speaking to her and not her lawyers? That's right. There's a vulnerable position for her. She wouldn't put herself in check like this. Not unless she was forced to. So that's it. Acting as their mouthpiece isn't some honor for her. This is a punishment. She's being used as a meat shield. They're upset with her. Perhaps even suspicious of her. Time to find out why.
Here we go.
Let's talk about David's will. Has David's will been located? It had never gone anywhere. It's still in a safety deposit box. We'll retrieve another red once all the unknowns surrounding his death have been made into knowns. So David's will hasn't even become part of the equation yet. It might not be for weeks at this rate. Is that calculated, though? Aren't you dragging your feet? Afraid that there's something in there that you'd rather not see the light of day? We are not jealous in-laws who've been bribing the county sheriff, Counselor.
Dang it.
Anything we try to claim would never be overturned as soon as the will is read. Surely understand that. Of course.
Dang it.
I have to admit, I'm not surprised you aren't more shaken up today, Miss Young. I'm processing. After all, you and David did have a history. You started at the same time, didn't you? Yes. We were colleagues and cordial with one another.
Here we go. Oh, we know that David is really bad with relationships.
Don't be so modest. You helped him create the one-point doctrine that saved the company. That is a gross exaggeration. Noble is far too large an organization to be affected by the contributions of any single individual. Suppose you're right. No one person could change Noble's fortunes overnight. Except for David Ashur, of course. But he was a once-in-a-generation talent. The guy Noble chose for the advertisements and the ones they commissioned editorials about. Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't have equated the two of you. I just hope his one-point doctrine doesn't fall out of favor now that he's gone. Yes, well, we certainly wouldn't want that. Well, she didn't exactly explode with rage, but she definitely reacted. There's real jealousy there. Whether it ever boiled over, though.
Hey, a new thingo.
I didn't mean to pry about your relationship with David, or lack thereof. I suppose I'm just curious about his standing inside Noble as a whole. David Ashur was, and always will be, an outstanding contributor to the company's forward progress. Nothing will ever change that. Not even if he was killed by one of his own creations. That would, of course, be a tragic element that would call for reconsideration of his legacy. She was almost off guard there. Like she was surprised for me to be asking about Serra ruining his reputation.
Gotta seize on this.
Besides Serra, David's reputation was crystal clean. He never went against the company once. Did he? That's... Unless I'm mistaken and he and Noble were on bad terms. In that case, I might get the impression that some parts of leadership were actually glad to see him taken off the chessboard. That is not... Something buzzing in your ear? Fine. I suppose it makes no difference if you hear it now or at the trial, or on your feet tomorrow. Dr. David Ashur was being sued by the company for breach of contract.
Oh, shit.
Satisfied? Now we're talking. Well then, I suppose that's... blackjack.
Ah, what a great investigation minigame. I love that it's definitely inspired by Logic Chess from Investigations 2. I really love it. It's a great minigame.
So you couldn't have mentioned this breach of contract earlier? Not without complicating the company's position unnecessarily. No. But there's no hiding at this point. It'll all come out soon enough. There's a paper trail. Much more than that. We've been making moves to let him go for some time. Noble Electronics parting ways with David Ashur must have been one hell of a breach of contract. Yeah, I love logic tests too. What did he do? He betrayed the confidence of the board. Ooh, is this about his whole AI experiments? Was he contesting the suit? Putting up a fight? Engaging in a legal battle against a mega corporation without even telling me? Until recently, yes. You mean until he died? How recently? We spoke on Friday. That was what you two talked about in his parlor. No. This was earlier in the day. That might be when she put it in. And that might leave another shelf. That's a much shorter shelf life. That would be a much shorter shelf life. And she would be able to mark the cup somehow. Mark which one is hers. And then just take that mark off her own cup. Her cup was in the sink, right? She washed it, I think. Let me check the evidence. Hold on. Oh no, found upright in the dining table. Okay, so no, her cup wasn't in the... I thought, I thought there was something in the sink. Oh, she could have just easily just done it with a tiny little marker thing. No, this was earlier in the day. Or in this room, actually. Him, me, and several members of our legal department. It was an arbitration. And did you come to an agreement? A compromise. He will resign from his position in 2 quarters, forgoing royalties and any products we would develop after the next 24 months. In exchange, he wouldn't be publicly fired. He would still be credited in all past, present, and future filings. How very reasonable. On paper, maybe. No matter what the deal was, letting go of David Ashur is insanity. Reasonable, yes. We ended on a good note, I'd like to think. We shook hands. Oh, we need this photo. Oh, there's gotta be something in here. Even took a photo. Alright, there's gotta be something in here. There's gotta be. Yeah, that looks lovely. Something funny? Didn't know the board told jokes. Her hair... Wait. Hold on. They don't. That was legal. Expressing their displeasure with how much paperwork my good note ending left them stuck with. Children. It was just one night of overtime. So while they were spending their Friday night blowing the ink dry, you paid a visit to David's penthouse. Something left unfinished. Professionally, it was a good meeting. There was no yelling, no finger pointing. Much cleaner than expected. But Dr. Ashur did not want to retire. He didn't want to be forced out of the company when he was the one who... when he had contributed so much. I didn't enjoy doing that to him. So I came over that night to apologize to him. We talked, reminisced. When he brought out the drinks, I thought we'd be toasting to a new day. A few minutes later, he was dead. Because of that AI. That AI. Any idea how it came to be? As I said, I had no idea he was working on it. My question was more broad than that. If you really believe David built an AI, how do you think he did it? How does Noble Electronics think he managed to work around the tenants? It's quite beyond my area of expertise. And no one at the company could call themselves an expert in illegal technology. But some in the R&D department has theorized that he created what they call a wax-wane decaying priority loop. Which, as I understand, is an unstable, resource-intensive theoretical method for pseudo-randomizing the weight among preset tenants. Well, about as far off target as it gets with that guess. But that kind of inelegant brute force nonsense seems a far cry from the thing David would create. And I... She does seem genuinely sad. Well, we know about that one. Here we go. David Ashur met with Helen Young, team of Noble lawyers, settled in terms of his resignation the afternoon before he died. Young set up the meeting and controlled every aspect from the refreshments to the timing, in line with co-workers' descriptions of her detail-oriented personality. Absolutely. I seem to have taken it over our allotted time slot. But I didn't even get to wave goodbye. You're serious about this trial? Don't I look it? You're not just making a play. You're actually going to defend that thing. I'm just defending myself, Miss Young. Oh, yes, of course you are. My mistake. I hoped you might be rooting for me, to tell you the truth. I may yet save everyone's stock options. The stock options will be all right either way. They always are. That gamble I offered your board, which outcome would you bet on? Finally, an easy question. What I would bet is whatever the outcome, the company will eat it up and shit it out with very little difficulty. You painted an ugly picture back there, but I've already seen the future. And it's just another marketing gimmick. The great Dr. Ashur, too smart, too bold, too far ahead of his time. What spark of his genius remains buried in the inspired Animate 19? I guess that depends on... You're exactly right. He is more valuable to Noble as a dead man. Dead men can't step out of line and put their foot in their mouth or hold politically inconvenient opinions. To a good salesperson, a dead man is just another selling point. Pardon my outburst. I'm just tired. It's been a very long week for me. Huh. What is going on here? It seems like... Huh. I'll just let you prepare for your afternoon, then, Dr. Young. No one calls me doctor. I asked them not to. You didn't want the title? At times I have thought very little of it. The PhD I earned from a noble-owned school. Biochemistry. It couldn't have been a large department at Noble before they started work on warm androids in earnest. They probably didn't have many expectations for the program back when she was a part of it. But I was proud of it when I first got it. Something changed? It never seemed to catch on. People didn't use it, so eventually I told people not to use it. A very high IQ social power play. You understand. David never insisted that people use it either. That's very different. And I think you know it. David Ashur didn't have to. I'm going into this trial, my trial, with a lot less ammunition than I'd like. I'm beginning to form a picture of what exactly happened, maybe even circling the drain on a suspect. But Emma won't be generous enough to give me breathing room. She'll want to end this fast. Maybe if I do badly enough, it'll flip a sadistic switch, and she'll want to keep playing.
So, you got charged with owning an AI. First time you do something exciting in your whole life. And I gotta find out through that friggin' grapevine.
My life is plenty exciting.
Freckles. You can pull the polish off a resume checking robot. I fucked Catholic school teacher with more active night lives than you.
Okay.
So who's your rope in? Anyone I know? Oh shit. Are you representing yourself?
Fits with my budget.
Screw your budget, you go to jail!
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
It ain't a matter of how good a lawyer you are. Anyone who represents themselves in court is a fool for counsel.
You represented yourself countless times.
Not for anything I had a chance of losing. Your pal hasn't even been dead 48 hours, sugar. You're too close to this. You'll make mistakes.
The powers that be really didn't want to give me a rain check. They're taking this very seriously.
It's more dangerous than that. They're scared.
Is there precedent? An ad committing murder?
How'd you pass law school without learning how to look this stuff up?
I know what the net says. I'm asking you.
The answer to that is... Not helpful to you at the moment.
So what words of advice do you have?
Get yourself a new lawyer.
Gotta close this chat now.
Don't lose, Freckles.
You don't need to tell me that.
Hey, Serra.
What are you reading, Adonai? I was reading David's employment contract with Noble Electronics before I got waylaid by spam texts. The one we found inside the panic room. It looks quite extensive. Should I skim it for you? Depends. Did you pass the bar exam since we last spoke? You comfortable? I am not. Ever see that old movie with the gorilla and the skyscraper? They bring it to the city and... I understand the analogy, Adonai. I wish I could call it overkill. But considering the specs Serra put up yesterday, maybe those bindings aren't heavy enough. Come to think of it, those numbers must have been faked along with the rest of what the machine read.
Damn, well, like, she's like ultimately like fucking, she's like the fucking Terminator. Jeez.
If that was all the smoke screen David had to tell to lay low, then her actual strength is more like... If your joints weren't currently locked up tighter than a vice, do you think you could escape this place?
I hope that question is not indicative of your strategy.
This is me trying to distract you, Serra. Enjoy the hypothetical.
I would estimate the building's automated security would put 9 holes in me before I reach that door.
9's not so bad.
I would not be able to function after the 7th.
Well, if you haven't been planning some great escape...
I would not do that. That would be illegal. And you would still be on trial.
I remember. So what have you been doing all day then?
I'm attempting to recover memories from Friday.
You can do that?
It is not dissimilar from the process of recovering data erased from any other computer, despite the difference in scale. I won't be able to remember everything, but if successful, I can recall individual pieces of information that could prove useful.
That's a lot of coulds. And even if you're successful, you may not like what you find. Whatever happened that day, either you or David wanted you to forget it.
Yes. But even so, I have to remember. Because it's the last day that Father and I...
Any luck so far, then?
I can recall a slightly musty scent.
Wow, case closed!
What about you, Adonai? Have you formulated a plan for this trial's proceedings?
Something like that. Young insists that serotonin isn't what killed David. I don't buy it. There's no other explanation for how he died.
So she is lying.
And if she repeats that lie on the stand, I'll need to expose it.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Would she really commit perjury to protect Noble? To protect one of Noble's patents?
She doesn't strike me as quite the corporate zealot she makes herself out to be.
But you believe that she had something to do with Father's death.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know why anyone would kill Father.
Considering the possible consequences of what he confessed to it in his journal, I can think of... But then again, I don't understand why anyone would kill anyone. Oh, I was saying like that. Why would Morgan say that? Oh, sorry. God.
But then again, I don't understand why anyone would kill anyone.
Oh my God. How's this going to turn out? I wonder.
Do you?
Bells tolling for thee. Means that the doors to the courtroom are unlocked. Let's... Wait. Can you walk like that? Waddle will have to do. Wait a second. Across the hall, let's... Hey, Porter. Keep waddling, Serra. I'll catch up.
As you say, Adonai.
This'll be a coin toss.
You that surprised to see me?
I'm not surprised you'd want to see the outcome of this trial. I am surprised you'd want to talk to me.
You're defending that android, right?
Dang it. Ah!
The android can't be defended or even accused because it's not legally a person. I merely...
Got the bullshit. The cameras don't start rolling until after the trial starts. So drop the double talk for 5 seconds and just be honest.
Fine. I'm defending Sarah's innocence. I don't think she killed David. Do you?
I don't think it matters. Nobody's what killed David. Whether it was with a pen stroke or a sleeper agent killer android or plain old goddamn arsenic, how could anyone be that smart, be that dumb? Why the hell did he ever sign his soul over to them?
David may have been in over his head, but he wasn't a bad negotiator. I've read his contract. His position was strong.
You're the lawyer. But a guy like me working in music? I'll tell you how many people I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. No such thing as corporate generosity. If you think you're getting a good deal, it's only because you don't know how much you just sold.
How much you just sold. David's real wealth lay in his intellectual property. The potential energy of it, hanging over the whole industry. If he sued even 1% of the companies taking inspiration from his Turing solution. There's a clause in his contract. If Noble ever did fire David, he'd have retained control over all his patents afterwards.
Yeah, see, that sounds nice. Only they never did fire him, did they? He just happened to die.
An unforeseeable act of God. In contract law, they call that force majeure.
All right. Well, you guys,
We are in the courtroom again, and I think this is... I know I'm stopping a bit early today, but actually I was not supposed to stream today. I did a bit of a goof, and I was too hyped up about the story, and I didn't realize that today was not supposed to be a streaming day, so we will continue this next Friday. Like, I'll just swap today with what tomorrow should have been. All right, so yeah, we will continue this next time. Oh my god. Well, of course, the next time would be the actual next time would be Tokyo Xanadu, but with the time after that, I mean. Sorry, I was too excited to continue, and now I have to wait even longer for the actual trial. Oh god. But I'll see y'all next time. I can't wait. I'm loving this way more than I thought even, and I already thought I would like it. So until then, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.